Welcome back to I don't even know who I am. My little side project, whatever this is, vlog channel, podcast, web show thing, talk show. What's up? I'm on my walk. It's Saturday evening. It's hot. It was like 89 when I left the house, so it's probably like 85 now. It's cooling down a little bit. It's hot. It's a hot day to be walking outside, but I'm doing it anyways. I'm out here. Yeah, I actually do have some things on my mind this week. Well, no, just today. It's honestly something that's been on my mind for weeks or months, definitely months, and that's the topic of is doing something for yourself selfish? Like prioritizing yourself. Does that make you selfish because you're not doing things for other people? It's been like a mental back and forth that I've had throughout this year as I've been learning, just in my personal life, I've been learning what doing something for myself looks like, and taking care of yourself and putting boundaries on your own life to almost like protect your peace, but also just like, it's not always protecting your peace, but protecting who you are and protecting your goals and everything you want to get done. I've been learning a lot about that this year in general, as I've been kind of on this journey of self-discovery after a breakup and figuring out like who am I and how do I take care of myself? Who am I as a 20-year-old finding myself, or 20-something finding themselves? And yeah, I've just been learning a lot this year about, figuring out like how I can better myself and how I can prioritize myself instead of constantly draining myself for others. And something that I was thinking about today was, so I think this topic, I'm going to rephrase that last sentence. I think this topic can be looked at in a few different angles. There's the big angle of like really big life goals, things you want to achieve and accomplish. And then there's the day-to-day things. And I think the day-to-day habits and like literally what your day-to-day, like hour to hour, even your schedule looks like, and the difference between prioritizing yourself and prioritizing others, and doing stuff for yourself, doing stuff for others. Is doing stuff for yourself only selfish? Is that make you a selfish person? But I'm going to look at the big life one first, because that's what's on my mind today. I was thinking this morning, I was just chilling, eating my breakfast, and I'd gotten a lot done this morning. I woke up early, went grocery shopping, read my Bible, drank my water, made these turkey burgers from the groceries that I bought. Made breakfast, made coffee. I just did everything in a very productive manner this morning. I was really prioritizing myself with the hours that I had, because I had a few hours that I woke up and was like, let's just get stuff done, I was thinking about going for a workout this morning, but I didn't feel up for it, and so it's okay to take a rest day every once in a while. But I was thinking this morning about the bigger things. And I was talking to a friend that came over really just briefly, like just like he came over to see someone else, but I was telling him like, yeah, like I've been really busy with work, but I want to start like doing more directing coming up here instead of just editing. And like I was really thinking about why I said that. Like why did I say that out loud? Like why do I think that too? Because I do think that. I think creatively I'm in a place that I want to pursue directing more than editing. Not that I want to completely disregard editing, because I think that's what I'm good at, but in film I feel like I really can see a future for myself if I keep directing, and I'm just like really wanting to keep going and not stop doing that. But I was thinking about why I think that way, and this was it just got on my mind of like, oh, like it shouldn't matter like what people think about what I make. I shouldn't be looking for approval from anyone or anything, like numbers. If I truly like believe in myself, then I can like go towards a goal that like such as like a big goal like that, like directing. And I came up with like a silly goal the other day on a walk with my buddy Mason, and I just said like, one day I want to direct a Godzilla movie. And it's like silly to say out loud because hey, it is silly. Like there's so many Godzilla movies. People like think Godzilla movies are kind of stupid, but like I love Godzilla movies, and it would just be like, I just love Godzilla, and it would just be like a dream to do something like that, and put my own spin on it and whatnot. But I have been thinking a lot about like, just like today I've been thinking about like, oh, like I really am doing this to prioritize myself and to do things for myself. I want to like start denying editing gigs to direct more. I want to like, or at least just do both at the same time. I'm doing all these things for myself. I'm not doing these things for others, because what would the point be? And I was thinking about that, and I was just like, that is not selfish. That's just prioritizing myself. And I think that's all one can do. Like if I were to live a life that like, okay, the reason I say it could be, the only way that it could be selfish is because directing, you're kind of the peak, you're at the top, and you don't really have a boss, honestly, and you have pretty much full creative control. And what I love about that is I like yearn for that position because that sounds good to me. But like some may look at that and be like, oh, you don't want to be like an editor and like, I don't know, like serve the director, and I don't know, like why aren't you satisfied because you're good at it and stuff like that. Like, no, I'm not satisfied because I think that there can be more for me, and I don't know, I just don't think it's selfish to prioritize myself in that way. And I also don't think I need to be leaning on other people's opinions on me of whether or not I should do it. Because I think the average person would say like, oh, you should do it, like out of kindness. But I'm like, there's probably a ton of people out there that don't think I'm fit for it. Like deep down they're like, well, like he's made like good things, but like how far can this really go? Not saying that anyone is truly thinking that, but I think there's just like a version of people in my mind that think that, or maybe it's just like a back thought or something of my own, but I don't know. I don't think it's selfish to prioritize big goals. I think it's actually what I feel called to do, and I want to continue like growing, and I think that's good. But where I think this selfishness is more labeled on, where like the label of selfishness comes into play more is on the day-to-day side and on the hour-to-hour side, because a lot of my life I do to like prioritize myself. I mean, literally right now I'm on a 2-hour walk that I go on every day, and I do this because I think it helps my mental health a lot, helps my physical health. It clears my mind. It gets me outside. All of this is because it's for me. I do it all for me. And guess what? It's 2 hours every day, and I block this time out, and I don't like if something is happening, I generally say like I can't make it because I have to go on my walk. Ooh, my neck hurts. Also, these sprinklers right here are just so pretty. But that's one of the things I do. And another, I go to the gym. I work out like many days of the week. I'm very consistently there. I go to bed early. That's my new thing, is I'm going to bed instead of staying up and, playing games with my roommates. I'm going to bed and waking up early. Like, I'm eating good food because it makes me feel better, and it helps me build muscle and lose fat, and I'm doing that for myself. And sometimes in social situations it's like, oh, like, why are you doing that? Like, why don't you just eat normal? Like, people will say that, and I'll be like, well, I'm just doing it for myself. And like all of these things, like there's so many more that I feel like I do on a daily basis, and it's all about me, and I'm always thinking about myself, which is, I think, good. But then every once in a while I get in this headspace of, oh, I'm only living for myself right now. I'm not living to serve others, and that's not my highest priority. Is that wrong? Am I just being selfish right now? Am I spending 3 to 4 hours of my day working on myself, say, 2 hours on my walk, an hour on my workouts, an hour cooking, eating by myself? I have alone time, 4 or 5 hours. Like, is that selfish to just to make that time my own and not be giving my time to others and, offering myself as like a service? I start to feel selfish, and I think that's very toxic that I feel that way. I think I know why I feel that way. It's because historically I have been one to sacrifice any time I have for my friends, because I don't take care of myself, and I just prioritize my friends and their needs over my own. And historically, that's just what I've done for years and years. And now that I feel like I'm finally where I'm supposed to be, taking care of myself first, And I even do things to prioritize my relationship with God. Like, I'm not even saying I'm not thinking about that, because I am. I'm reading my Bible every day. I'm praying. I've been thinking spiritually much more, and I think that's even a part of it, is I'm prioritizing my own relationship with God. And like, once I'm finally in this place, I start to feel guilty, because it's like, oh, like, people are like, oh, like, why aren't you like hanging out with us like more as often? And I just like, I'm less available. And can I just say something? It's okay to be less available. I'm doing things for myself, and there needs to be boundaries. And I just think not everyone knows that, which is fine. Like, they don't need to know that. But, and I'm not even saying this about anyone in particular, genuinely, but I've just learned like, that is what it takes. It takes saying no, and not being a people pleaser, and just completely prioritizing yourself for growth, and in order to hit your goals. And I think oftentimes that includes these big goals that I was talking about, such as, being a director someday, being, losing a certain amount of weight, or gaining a certain amount of muscle, or making a certain amount of money. Like, all of these are goals that I feel like I work towards, and I work towards them on a daily basis. And it's not selfish of me to do so, because it's not selfish for me to do so, because I'm not, it's not selfish for me to do so, because that's just what a realistic life is, if you want to better yourself, I believe. Like you're not always going to be able to hang with your friends and like, play games and drink beers and eat, food and eat, all the calorie dense food. Like, you're not always going to be able to do that if you have goals, but it's something else to prioritize yourself and show, like, oh my gosh, my freaking neck hurts so bad. Something else to be able to prioritize yourself, and you're not selfish for doing that. It's not selfish to prioritize the betterment of yourself. Because guess what? I know, like, I'm telling this to myself, I know you look at your friends and you see all their potential and they're doing things and you want to do things for them. But like, what about you? What about you? You also have potential. And if you're not giving yourself the space and the time and the strength to do what you need to do, your potential will be wasted. And I don't want to waste my own potential. So even if, and I'm saying this because I'm a chronic comparison person, I compare myself to others at all times. Even if my potential isn't as high as someone else's, like, I look at myself oftentimes and I'm like, I was dealt bad cards. I was born with certain things that are wrong with me. Also, just pause for the sunset. It's beautiful. I was born with certain things that are wrong with me, or developed certain things that nerfed me as a human being. I think of that as my depression, my anxiety. I feel like I had I had many years of my life that I didn't have friends naturally, and I think I was totally impacted by isolation and self-sabotage and loneliness and eating disorders, unhealthy relationships with food. Everyone has messed up family, but I've got a messed up family in some ways, and that's getting worked on and whatever. Sunset again. But even if that's true, which I'm not saying it is, because I don't think this is a healthy way to look at it, but I'm giving this to myself. Even if your potential is lower than someone else's because they were given the right cards in life and they were given everything they need to succeed in a more natural stance, they were given more money, they were given a family that worked dynamically, I don't know, a good family dynamic, and they had the money and the resources that they needed, they had the willpower, they had everything. Even if they had all of those things and what looks like their potential is just higher than yours, why would you still not want to see your full potential? Why would you still not want to see yourself at your best? And it's not selfish to want that. So, it's not selfish to give yourself a shot, give yourself a chance, and work on yourself. And if that takes 4 to 5 hours a day, and that means you can't be hanging around the same people, you can't be eating the same food, you can't be working on the same things, that's just what that means. And it's not selfish to put others' needs behind your own. That's just what I believe today. It's just what I'm thinking about. And yeah, that'll be the video. So if you're watching this and having a shitty day, I hope something in here helped you. And I don't know, just no matter what kind of day, I hope tomorrow's better. Just remember that the sun will set, as it's doing right now. I'll give you a good visual. The sun will set and the sun will rise, and you will wake up and hear the birds, and it'll be a new day with new opportunities to better yourself, to work on your goals, to prioritize yourself over others, and not feel guilty about it, not feel like you're being selfish. So that's all for today, but thanks for listening if you did.